Good evening, I'm Haley Hollinger.
And I'm Juliana Colant. Welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. A Delaware County man is facing felony charges after allegedly stabbing 2 people and setting fire to his room at an assisted living facility. 66-year-old Gebru G. Buren was apprehended by police outside of Abington of Powell Care Facility. Police say 2 residents were stabbed and transported to Ohio Health Riverside Methodist Hospital. Police also discovered a fire in Buren's room. Firefighters were able to put out the fire with minimal damage to the room. Buren is currently at the Delaware County Sheriff's Office jail after being transported to the hospital to be medically evaluated.
An Ironton man is in custody after a dead body was found wrapped in a rug at an Ironton home. The body was identified as 73-year-old Harold Pleasant of Ironton, who was found under the home's back deck. Ironton Police Department told WOWK News that sanitation workers said a man tried to throw away several suspicious bags in their garbage truck. They say officers found bloody clothing in the bags. Officers figured out where the man lived, but as they tried to secure a search warrant, he ran. He was later arrested in Lucasville by Scioto County Sheriff's deputies. 22-year-old Case Pleasant of Ironton is charged with murder, failure to comply with an officer, and murder. Anyone with more information should contact Ironton PD.
Hello, I am Curtis Fader with a first look at your weather. Now, taking a look right now, what we're seeing is 58 degrees. We're finally experiencing some autumn temperatures, especially after we've been seeing 77 degrees in the previous week. We're finally starting to get some good weather, which is really good for Halloween weekend coming up. And if you're taking a look at the local temperatures from the past 24 hours, you can see in the wee hours, it's starting to plateau right into about the mid 50s, which is where we're going to be seeing throughout all over southeast Ohio today. But in the regional satellite, you can see a little bit of cloud coverage, but there's not really much to talk about. As you can see, we're in that comfortable area in that Midwest where we're not getting the tornadoes, we're not getting the hurricanes. We're kind of in that nice little nestled spot where nothing's really happening right now. But tonight, 38 degrees, a little chilly, but overall a great night to go out on the town. And especially if we are preparing, you can also be doing pretty much whatever you want, because there's going to be no showers, there's going to be no threats of late night driving, of being potentially, in some danger with the added darkness, but it's going to be really clear. But I'll have a lot more on what we're going to be expecting for Halloween weekend coming up in my full weather forecast. But for now, I'll send it back over to Juliana.
Things are heating up in the city of Athens as it works to reduce its carbon footprint, one solar panel at a time. I had the chance to speak with the mayor and a project leader to learn more. Plans for installing solar panels aims to break ground this winter. The city is working in partnership with Third Sun Kokosing Solar to power 3 high-energy consuming areas: the community center, the wastewater treatment plant, and the city pool parking lot. Mayor Steve Patterson sees solar energy as key to helping Athens as a city reach its environmental goals.
We have pushed forward with reducing our carbon emissions by 50% by the year 2030. I think that the solar array is going to push us well beyond reducing our carbon emissions, more than 50%.
Over the span of 30 years, the system is estimated to offset carbon emissions equivalent to 4.5 million miles produced by the average passenger car. But the solar panels will do more than just help the environment.
It saves money.
Long term for the city of Athens, says Jeff Greenfield, Director of Solar Strategy for Third Sun Kokosing Solar.
Building a solar power plant like this costs an investment up front, but then the fuel that provides the actual energy over time just comes out of the sky for free.
The money saved means more funds that can be put back into the city for other projects. Solar panel installation hopes to wrap up construction in the spring.
For the size of the city of Athens, it's a pretty substantial project and something that the city of Athens, the mayor, the city council can all be pretty proud of.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Juliana Colant. To stay up to date on the latest information and timeline of the project, visit the City of Athens website. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is urging for the reopening of the state budget to provide schools with more funding. His renewed push for these changes comes in response to statewide test scores showing setbacks among many students, likely caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Bashir says his proposals aim to overcome teacher shortages, help students catch up and thrive, and better prepare preschoolers for kindergarten. Republicans' Senate Majority Floor Leader Damon Thayer says there are no plans to reopen the budget when lawmakers meet in 2023.
Ohio Elections Chief and Republican Secretary of State Frank LaRose is reminding the public that absentee ballots can't be returned to their precincts on Election Day. Any voter that holds onto their paper ballot until the 8th must turn them in to their county board elections office. LaRose's warning comes because of a misinformation campaign, instructing voters to do the opposite. 940,160 Ohioans have requested an absentee ballot by mail. LaRose says some voters have listened to a group of Republican election deniers and are holding onto their ballots until the 8th. What the latest economic report could mean for your wallet. Plus, health experts are warning of a triple threat from viruses this winter. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
An ancient mystery. Who created the Nazca lines and why? Can recent discoveries and modern science reveal clues?
We let AI learn from these famous geoglyphs.
We do archaeology without digging.
We're connected to our ancestors, the past, the present, and the future.
Nazca Desert Mystery on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Next time on The War. A forgotten island called Peleliu.
The world was a nightmare of flashes, violent explosions, snapping bullets.
And a pointless battle comes at a terrible price.
We just went crazy. We were mad at everybody and were ready to kill anything that there was.
Part 5 of The War.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, playoffs. New Lexington looks to keep their season alive at home, taking on perennial powerhouse Bishop Hartley. Gallia Academy has had an impressive season, but the red-hot Licking Valley Panthers can halt them in their tracks. And it's a new chapter for Logan Elm, but they'll need to keep up with the explosive Cambridge offense. Twitter go home for 60 Southeast Ohio teams Friday night at 11:30 on WOUB. So remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights at Gridiron Glory.
They make an unmistakable sound. But woodpeckers are incredibly varied. And these charismatic birds drum in almost every forest, everywhere in the world. Think you know the woodpecker? Think again. This is the whole story.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
A new economic report is showing signs of improvement, but Americans everywhere are still battling record inflation, rising mortgage rates, and expectations of the Federal Reserve soon announcing another rate hike. But what does this mean for consumers? Isabel Rosales has more.
A sign of hope for economic recovery. The latest data shows the gross domestic product grew 2.6%. It's a turnaround from the negative of 1.6% in the first quarter and negative 0.6% in the second.
Great economic report today.
The report by the Bureau of Economic Analysis offering a sign of relief for the White House as President Joe Biden looks to tout economic successes heading into the midterms.
When you combine this with reports that we've seen recently in the labor market, this does show that the economy continues to move forward.
More spending in travel and dining out, balanced with less spending in durable goods, fueling the economic growth. But experts warn Americans should still brace for a recession.
I think the odds that next year we get a recession are very high because inflation's still high, the Federal Reserve's still fighting inflation, and also the whole world is going into recession.
Other factors of concern to consumers include a housing market cool down as mortgage rates top 7% for the first time since 2002. all coming on the heels of interest rates on the rise as the Fed works to cool white-hot inflation.
That doesn't feel great always. You know, we see rising interest rates for mortgages, as you say, all kinds of debt. At the same time, this is necessary in order to avoid a hard landing.
In Washington, I'm Isabel Rosales.
As the U.S. economy continues to be a challenge, the housing market is feeling the effects.
Mortgage rates climbed above 7% this week for the first time since 2002. That Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation says the 30-year fixed rate mortgage averaged 7.08% in the week ending today. That's up from 6.94% the week before. The increase in these rates has been seen nearly every week since late August and has more than doubled since the beginning of the year. This rapid rise has been fueled by the Federal Reserve's unprecedented campaign of hiking interest rates to hinder soaring inflation. The combination of rate hikes from the central bank, investor concerns of recession, and mixed economic news has made mortgage rates rapidly increase over the past few months. Cases of RSV, the flu, and COVID-19 are rapidly rising. Patients dealing with these respiratory illnesses are filling hospitals across the country, especially pediatric hospitals. Ivan Rodriguez reports on doctors' concern about a potential triple-demic this winter.
RSV, or respiratory syncytial virus, is a common illness that is occasionally severe in young children and one doctors are used to treating. But this year, children's hospitals across the country are seeing an unexpected rise in cases and hospitalizations.
We saw RSV starting to circulate in the summer, and we had a very, very early peak.
In these 5 states, pediatric hospital beds are almost at capacity, with Rhode Island reaching 99%. Dr. Andy Shane with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says, along with the rise in RSV cases, the flu is also a growing concern.
We definitely are starting to see many more cases of influenza in children with flu. Among the children that we've been seeing with COVID and influenza that are requiring hospitalization, 95% have not been fully vaccinated.
The CDC says flu positivity rates increased at the beginning of October from 2.8% to more than 4% in just 1 week, a rate experts say is higher than usual for this time of year. And of course, there is still concern over COVID-19. While those cases remain relatively low, doctors worry about how much of an impact all 3 of these respiratory illnesses will have this season.
The question is, how severe will it be? We've already started seeing cases, and we're not even in winter yet. So that's why it's really important to get that influenza shot.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
With the rise of respiratory illness going into the winter months, communities are being encouraged to get vaccinated.
As we learn more about COVID-19 treatment, the CDC finds a disparity concerning race. People of color, especially Black and Hispanic people, are less likely to get Paxlovid and other COVID-19 treatments, says the CDC. However, it is twice as likely for Black and Hispanic people to be hospitalized or die from the virus. When looking at the numbers, about 1 in 3 white patients got Paxlovid, compared to 1 in 5 Black and Hispanic patients, and about 1 in 4 Asian and American Indian patients. The CDC study does not state specific reasons for the contrast in treatment, but researchers say it could be due to factors like differences in access, racism implications, or implicit bias from providers, and patients who may not trust the medical system because of negative past experiences. Halloween Block Party returns this year. Coming up, we'll tell you how this year's event is different.
And what's the weather going to be like on Halloween weekend? That and more, and I will have all of that. And let's see if any weather gets a little spooky. Find out more when Newswatch returns.
Next time on The War, a forgotten island called Peleliu.
The world was a nightmare of flashes, violent explosions, snapping bullets.
And a pointless battle comes at a terrible price.
We just went crazy. We were mad at everybody and were ready to kill anything that there was.
Part 5 of The War.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, playoffs. New Lexington looks to keep their season alive at home, taking on perennial powerhouse Bishop Hartley. Gallia Academy has had an impressive season, but the red-hot Licking Valley Panthers can halt them in their tracks. And it's a new chapter for Logan Elm, but they'll need to keep up with the explosive Cambridge offense. Twitter go home for 60 Southeast Ohio teams Friday night at 11:30 on WOUB. So remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights at Gridiron Glory.
On Secrets of the Dead, hieroglyphics, mysterious symbols from the ancient past.
For the ancient Egyptians, the word was incredibly powerful.
But who inscribed the texts that help us understand ancient Egypt?
These hieroglyphs, who painted them, I've got to get to know him.
Decoding hieroglyphics on Secrets of the Dead.
Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
An ancient mystery. Who created the Nazca lines and why? Can recent discoveries and modern science reveal clues?
We let AI learn from these famous geoglyphs.
We do archaeology without digging.
We're connected to our ancestors, the past, the present, and the future.
Nazca Desert Mystery on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am tonight's weather forecast. Now, right now, it's 58 degrees, which is very nice temperatures today, especially what we've been considering last week, 77 degrees, all the way up, very hot, but now it's a lot lower, it's a lot cooler. And taking a look right now, it's very clear around our area, as you can see right over here. Not a lot of joker toxin over there, but there's going to be a little bit of fog coverage over towards the Midwest at the moment. And as you can see right here, we have a regional radar. When we zoom in on it just a little bit, you can actually see a lot of sparse little snow and rain and sleet coming up over towards Grand Rapids and Milwaukee, up around the Great Lakes area. And it's very important to see some of these pop-ups going on, and you can also see right there on Iowa right there, because obviously when you see these pop-ups, they could be in one spot or several. But right now, Athens in tonight, it's 38 degrees. It is a little bit chilly, but it's great. It is going to be a great day to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. But right now, there's not a lot of moon, just a waxing crescent at the moment. But for now, it's actually a pretty good night to go out. I mean, you could also just be inside and try to get your face on the $1 bill. But tomorrow, it's actually going to be really nice outside. In fact, you know, Athens deserves a higher class of weather, and Mother Nature is going to give it to them. 63 degrees is going to be the high. This is going to be a perfect day for people that are going out to celebrate Halloween weekend as we know it. And right now, in tomorrow night, this is going to be the big thing, especially if people are going to be doing trick-or-treating that night. We're actually going to be nice and dry. I mean, we have some warm fronts in and around, but you can also see a little bit further down, you can actually see some over on the East Coast and a little bit by Oklahoma and Texas. And those are some little showers. And we're going to be seeing some showers coming in for the next few days. But don't worry, these cities aren't monsters. They're just ahead of the curve. But taking a look at Athens this weekend, Friday is going to be gorgeous. Saturday, gorgeous as well. This is exactly what you want to hear. It's going to be mostly sunny on Saturday, 66 degrees. I mean, these temperatures, keep in mind, we're approaching November, guys. So this is a little bit crazier than usual. But as you can see, Sunday, showers. This is when you need to be careful. This is when things are going to be a little bit more wet on the conditions. In fact, as you know, all it takes is just one bad day. And you don't really want to be asking people how you got these scars. But if you look at our 7-day forecast, this is going to be incredible because look at this. As I said, we're approaching November, 63 degrees, 66. We're going to be mostly in the upper 60s, but as I mentioned, we have showers on Sunday and Monday, 60 and 50% respectively. But I mean, Garfield hates Mondays, so if you want it on a day, that would be the perfect day. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, however, gorgeous as well. So besides those 2 days in the middle, we're experiencing incredible temperatures, especially for being in Ohio where it's very volatile in terms of weather going on. But for now, this is going to be a really good time for celebrating Halloween all around Athens. Now that's all from the Clown Prince of Crime. Now we'll send it back over to the studio.
The Athens Halloween Block Party is back after a 2-year hiatus due to COVID, with new changes in hopes of bringing together the entire Athens community. Newswatch reporter Emma Dollenmayer has more on what to expect this weekend.
Halloween Block Party, dubbed as one of the nation's largest college celebrations, is back for the first time since 2019. but this year it is intended to be safer and more family-friendly than years past.
College parties usually, oh, let's go uptown and get as drunk as we can. You know, that's not that atmosphere this year.
Family-friendly activities such as a costume contest, face painting, the Honey for the Heart Halloween Parade, and the Uptown Business Association Trick or Treat will now, for the first time ever, be a part of the block party's official event schedule.
Right now, I don't think a lot of businesses want to take part in Halloween because of the negative image. You know, they either don't want to be associated, they don't like what it is or whatnot. This kind of gives an opportunity for more businesses to be a part of that.
The large and rowdy parties created many safety hazards, causing the event to rebrand itself.
There was the one year there was a gunshot. That was crazy.
To avoid another situation like this and more arrests, the party will start and end earlier this year.
We're ending the official events around 10 p.m. and so we'll gradually open the street, and the message will be, you don't have to go home, just go to the bars, go to your friend's house or what have you. The official events will end at 10 p.m. And again, back to my point about nothing good happens after midnight, right?
The celebration will begin at 1 p.m. and last until 10 p.m. this Saturday at the intersection of Court and Union Streets. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Emma Dalamer.
Limited parking is available on the street and in the Athens parking garage. Parking may also be available on the Ohio University parking lots until 7 p.m., but it is not guaranteed. Tune into Newswatch tomorrow for more details.
Coming up in sports, Ohio soccer wraps up its regular season with a win in Akron. Find out what this means for Bobcats moving forward when Newswatch returns.
Thanks to viewers like you, we've been able to tell America's stories on this PBS station. Help us continue to tell these stories now and for future generations by including this station in your charitable plans.
Supporting this PBS station through a gift of securities is easy. To find out more, call the number on your screen or visit this website. Thank you.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, playoffs. New Lexington looks to keep their season alive at home, taking on perennial powerhouse Bishop Hartley. Gallia Academy has had an impressive season, but the red-hot Licking Valley Panthers can halt them in their tracks. And it's a new chapter for Logan Elm, but they'll need to keep up with the explosive Cambridge offense. Twitter go home for 60 Southeast Ohio teams Friday night at 11:30 on WOUB. So remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights at Gridiron Glory.
Next time on The War, a forgotten island called Peleliu.
The world was a nightmare of flashes, violent explosions, snapping bullets.
And a pointless battle comes at a terrible price.
We just went crazy. We were mad at everybody and were ready to kill anything that there was.
Part 5 of The War.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
On Secrets of the Dead, hieroglyphics, mysterious symbols from the ancient past.
For the ancient Egyptians, the word was incredibly powerful.
But who inscribed the text that help us understand ancient Egypt?
These hieroglyphs, who painted them, I've got to get to know him.
Decoding hieroglyphics on Secrets of the Dead.
Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
Ohio soccer wrapped up its regular season with a 2-0 victory against the Zeps this afternoon. The Bobcats finished the Ohio soccer wrapped its regular season with a 2-0 victory against the Bobcats and the Zeps finished the first half tied in the 0, but the Bobcats found light at the second half. Freshman midfielder Eve Barish was not one, but both goals in 8 minutes apart of the second half. The Bobcats only had 7 shots compared to the Zeps' 13. With a win, it brings their total to 10 wins for the regular season for the Bobcats. The victory against the Zeps was a crucial one for the Bobcats in the standings ahead of the MAC tournament. Ohio finishes in the regular season with a record of 10-6-1 and moves up to the 4th spot in the standings, where the victory moves the Bobcats up against Miami, who tied against Eastern Michigan earlier today. The tie has the Redhawks taking over the fifth spot. Western Michigan win against Toledo moves them from the 7th spot to the 6th spot to tie the race to make it in. The top 6 teams make it into the MAC tournament, which begins in Sunday. Ohio Field Hockey prepares for its final game of the regular season tomorrow afternoon. For the Bobcats, a crucial win against the MAC rival Appalachian State, who stands between them and the hopes of making the MAC tournament. Appalachian State has won 7 straight games heading into the match and will be a challenge for the Bobcats and senior night. A total of 3 seniors will be graduating on their final game for the Bobcats at Pruitt Field. Start of that match will start at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Ohio Hockey prepares to hit the ice at Adrian tonight. The Bobcats have been rolling early in the season. Ohio only has 1 loss throughout their 8 games, and the only loss has become against Maryville. Adrian's at 10-1 at the season, and yet only 1 loss so far heading into the game against the Bobcats. Ohio will then head back for Game 2 against the series at the Bird Arena on Saturday. Puck drops tonight at scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Ohio Volleyball looks to continue its impressive win streak tomorrow night. The Bobcats have won 6 of their last 7 games and have currently sit in 2nd place in the MAC. Ohio hosts Western Michigan and hosting making it this weekend. Western Michigan's 5-6 in the conference so far, and it's boasted to continue its winning ways. Game time against Western Michigan is set for tonight at 7 o'clock at the Convo. Ohio football begins preparations tomorrow tonight as its big game against Buffalo next Tuesday. The Bobcats are near the top of the MAC in the East Division, starting division. All MAC teams begin gameplay at Tuesdays. For Ohio, it's a different pace as playing on Saturday, and head coach Tim Albman explains how this date of the game will not be negatively impacting the Bobcats' gameplay.
I think it's a positive. I do. I've always said that, and not just because of the exposure. That's great, but it's got nothing to do with my thinking on it. We have always treated it, if Tuesday's a game day, that's a Saturday.
Kickoff is Tuesday night, scheduled for 7:30 at Payton Stadium. And how do you think about the game tomorrow? It's going to be a huge game on Tuesday.
Yes, we're very much so looking forward to Tuesday. Thanks, Peyton. Now let's toss it over to Curtis with a look at our final weather.
Right now, tonight, 38 degrees, a little bit chilly, but as you know, it's going to be pretty nice regardless. I mean, the moon is waxing crescent. If you're a werewolf, your secret is safe. But taking a look tomorrow especially, you guys just hit the jackpot with this. It's like winning the lottery, but as you know, it's not about money. It's about sending a message. And the message is 63 degrees, which is the temperature right now. Very great temperatures to have. And throughout the week, we're going to be seeing mostly into the mid-60s. And it's going to be very nice, especially for Halloween weekend. So be prepared to have some fun on that weekend. Back to the desk.
Feeling lucky? After 36 drawings in a row with no grand prize winner, the Powerball jackpot now stands at $800 million. No ticket matched all 6 numbers in last night's drawing, which was estimated at $700 million. The cash value of the prize is now nearly $384 million. It would be the 2nd largest prize in Powerball history. The biggest of all time was $1.586 billion in January of 2016. The next drawing is on Saturday. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Juliana Colant.
And I'm Haley Hollinger. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Support comes from Hocking Valley Bank, offering mortgage loans or refinancing on an existing home, making it easy for dreams to become a reality.